students, in your Hardcore 2 class, today let us discuss about laws of inheritance. Gregor John Mendel conducted hybridization experiments on garden pea plant, that is Pisum sativum, for about 7 years from 1856 to 1863, and Gregor John Mendel had proposed the laws of inheritance in living organisms, and he is also known as father of genetics. And Mendel have selected garden pea plants because of some of the characteristics, such as the pea plant is available in many varieties on a large scale to observe the alternate traits. So because of the varieties, he had selected a pea plant, and the pea plant, it is a self-pollinated and can be cross-pollinated also. And here in the pea plant, he has also selected because here the prevention of a self-pollination is also possible. And these pea plants are annual plants with a short life cycle, so several generations can be studied within a short period. And the pea plants could easily be raised and maintained and also handled. And many varieties are available with distinct characteristics, which plants provide many easily detectable contrasting characters. So because of this, the Mendel has selected Pisum sativum plants. So Mendel conducted artificial pollination or a cross-pollination experiments using several true breeding pea lines, and a true breeding line refers to one that have undergone continuous self-pollination and showed stable trait inheritance and expression for several generations. So Mendel selected 14 true breeding pea plant varieties as a pair, which were similar except for one character with the contrasting traits. So he had given he had a list of contrasting traits which are studied by the Mendel in a pea plant. So first is the characters, that is a stem height. So here the contrasting traits: in the dominant, the stem height is a tall; in a recessive, it is a dwarf. And the flower color, so dominant is a violet, where a recessive is a white color. The flower position, dominant is a axial and a recessive is a terminal. And next is a pod shape, that is dominant is inflated and the recessive is constricted. And the pod color, dominant is green in color and the recessive is yellow colored. And the seed shape is round, it's a dominant trait, and the wrinkled is a recessive one. And the seed color is the dominant is yellow and the recessive is green. Next, he had given some procedure. He had observed one trait at a time. For example, he crossed tall and dwarf pea plant to study the inheritance of one gene. So he had considered or observed a trait at a time. And he hybridized plant with alternate forms of a single trait, that is, for example, is a monohybrid cross. The seeds produced by this cross were grown to develop into plants of a progeny, that is a F1 progeny or a F1 plants. He then self-pollinated the F1 plants to produce plants of a F2 progeny or the F1 generation. In later experiment, Mendel also crossed pea plants with the two contrasting characters and known as a dihybrid cross. So next is the Mendel's observation. In a F1 generation, Mendel found that all the pea plants were tall and none was a dwarf. So this is the F1 generation. So when a tall plant is crossed with the dwarf plant in the F1 generation, there were all the offsprings were tall. He also observed other pair of traits and found that F1 always resembled either one of its parents. So he had seen or observed that the F1 is always going to resemble one of its parents and the traits of other parent was not found in this generation. In a F2 generation, he had found that some of the offsprings were dwarf, that is the character which were not seen in a F1 generation was expressed in F2. So in the F1 generation he had observed the tall plants, but in a F2 generation he also observed the dwarf character. And these contrasting traits didn't show any mixing either in F1 or in a F2 generation. So these characters, that is a tall or a dwarf, there is no mixing in between these two traits. So in the F1 and F2 there is no mixing of a generation, there is no mixing in the traits. Similar results were obtained with the other traits that he had studied. Only one of the parental trait was expressed in F1 generation, while at the F2 stage both the traits were expressed in the ratio of 3:1. That is the ratio of a cross it has observed is 3 tall plants are obtained and 1 is dwarf in nature. So the ratio is 3:1. So Mendel also found identical results in dihybrid cross as in a monohybrid cross. The trait that appeared in the F1 is called as a dominant trait, while the other trait is a recessive trait. So the trait which is appeared in the F1 generation is a dominant trait, that is tall here is a dominant while the dwarf is a recessive. In tall dwarf trait, tallness is dominant over a dwarfness, and here the dwarfness is a recessive. So in this case we are going to observe in the checkerboard or Punnett square, the phenotypic ratio is tall plant is to dwarf plant, that is 3 are tall and 1 is dwarf, while the genotypic ratio will be capital T is 1, that is tall, homozygous, tall, capital T small t, that is also tall but it is heterozygous, tall and it is 2 in number, and a dwarf, that is small t and small t it is 1 in number. So next is the Mendel's inference. So some of the inference are made by a Mendel based on his observation. He proposed that some factors pass down from parents to offsprings through the gametes. Nowadays these factors are known as a genes. So Mendel considered as a factors, but nowadays we are going to call it as a genes. So genes or hence these genes are the units of inheritance. So inheritance it is by the genes. So genes which code for a pair of contrasting traits are known as alleles, that is they are slightly different from the same gene. So these alleles, these are the different forms of genes, so in which one dominant the other called as a dominant factor and expresses itself, while the other remains hidden and it is called as a recessive. So allele can be similar in case of homozygote, that is capital T, and genes which occur in a pairs, that is small t, and dissimilar in case of a heterozygote, that is capital T and a small t. So if the allele are in similar case, we call it as a homozygote. For example, capital T and capital T. So if they are in dissimilar case, we call it as a heterozygote, that is capital T and a small t. So in a true breeding, tall or a dwarf P variety, the allelic pair of a genes for a height are identical or homozygous. Capital T and small t are called genotype of a plant, while the term tall and a dwarf it called as a phenotype. So the external appearance what we are going to see is called as a phenotype. For example, it may be of a tall or a dwarf. And in the alphabetical form what we are going to see, that is capital T, small t, we call it as a genotype. When the tall and a dwarf plant produce gametes by the process of meiosis, the alleles of a parental pair segregate and only one of the allele gets transmitted to the gamete. So thus there is only 50% chance of a gamete controlling either allele, as the segregation is a random process. So during fertilization, the two alleles capital T from one parent and small t from other parent are united to produce a zygote that has a one capital T and one small t allele, or the hybrids have a both capital T and a small t. So since these hybrids contain alleles which express contrasting traits, and the plants are called as a heterozygous, that is capital T and a small t. So next is a Punnett square. So it is a graphical representation to calculate the probability of all possible genotypes of offsprings in a genetic cross. So the production of gametes by the parents, the formation of a zygote, that is F1 and F2 generation, can be explained by the Punnett square, and it was developed by a British genetist R.C. Punnett. So the name is Punnett square. So next is a laws of Mendel's. So they call as a Mendel's law. So Mendel's laws of inheritance are based on his observation on a monohybrid crosses. So he proposed the following laws of inheritance. In that, first one is a law of dominance. So it is called as a first law. The law of dominance states that when two alternative forms of a trait or character are present in an organism, only one factor expresses itself. So this law says that when two alternative forms of a trait or a character is present in an organism, only one factor is going to express in the F1 progeny, and it is called as a dominant, while the other that remain masked is called as a recessive. So in the monohybrid cross you have come across with the example. So this law is used to explain the expression of only one of the parental characters in a monohybrid cross in F1 generation, and the expression of both in the F2 generation. So in the monohybrid cross you have seen about in the F1 generation there will be the appearance of a tall plant, but in the F1 generation we have observed both the presence of a tall and a dwarf plant. So by this law of dominance say that in the F1 progeny we are going to observe the dominant character, that is the tallness, and in F2 we are going to observe both the dominant and the recessive. So it also explains the proportion of 3:1 obtained in the F2 generation, that is 3 tall plants and 1 dwarf plant. So next is the second law, that is law of segregation. So this law states that the alleles do not show any blending and both the characters are recovered as such in the F2 generation. So second law tells that there is no any blending, though one of these is not seen in the F1 generation. Due to this, the gametes are a pure of a character. The parents contain two alleles during the gamete formation. The factors or alleles of a pair segregate from each other such that a gamete receives only one of the two factors. So here in the law of segregation we come across there is no blending of the characters takes place, and the alleles of a pair they segregate from each other such as that of a gamete, it only receives one of the two factors. So next is a law of independent assortment. So it is a third law. So this law states that when two pairs of traits are combined in a hybrid, segregation of one pair of character is independent of other pair of characters at the time of gamete formation. So this law, that is law of independent assortments, it's going to state that when two pairs of a trait, that is two contrasting characters are combined in a hybrid, segregation of one pair of character is independent of other pair of a character at the time of the gamete formation. So it also gets randomly rearranged in the offsprings, producing both parental and also new combinations of characters. So here along with the parental characters we are going to encounter with the new combinations of characters, and the law was proposed by Mendel based on the results of a dihybrid crosses where inheritance of two traits were considered simultaneously. For example, the parents, so if the parents are with the two contrasting characters, that is round yellow and wrinkled green, so the gametes for a round yellow are capital R and capital Y, while as the gametes for the wrinkled green is small r and small y. So in the F1 generation the obtained offspring is round yellow, and in the F2 generation there will be the presence of new traits or new characters such as round yellow, round green, wrinkled yellow and wrinkled green. So in the ratio of 9:3:3:1. So this is about the law of independent assortment, that is two pairs of traits when they are combined in a hybrid, so segregation of one pair of character is independent of other pair of characters at the time of gamete formation. So by this, along with the parental forms, so new combinations of characters what we are going to observe. So by this, in this class we came to know about the information regarding law of inheritance, and we have also come across the Mendel's law of inheritance. So in the next class, let us discuss about cytoplasmic inheritance. Thank you.